Hi, let's just get straight into it. In the last video, I just mentioned in passing the previous First Minister of Scotland. This was called Humza Yousaf. He was unelected. He was just put in charge. Right. First thing he did was to stifle speech. He went after Count Dankula for making a joke. His thought process was transparent. He's like, all right, that's me. That's me proved that I don't hate the Jews because I've prosecuted a guy for a joke. And then immediately after, everything that he did was just utter hatred to the Jews. Like it was utterly sickening. Anti-Semitism makes me sick. I don't like any sort of hate. There are people we can hate though, and that's mad jihadis. We're allowed to hate Islamists, like people that want the domination of Islam, the child sacrificers, the female genital mutilators, and that goes for the nutcases on both sides. The fire and brimstone, man, the hell and damnation. That's nasty, but it's on in an internal kind of way. It compels you to go out and spread Christianity. You know, like be like John the Baptist and prepare for the second coming of Jesus. And I like that. Like it's just doomsday stuff. Extremes on both sides. So what I'm talking about is Islamism, which is the promotion a politically dominant, female oppressing, genital mutilating idea that treats that will treat the native people as second class, that will allow 6% to 10% minority in this country. If it gets too much of a grip, it'll allow them to oppress us by law. And it's already happening in the cities where some of these areas are like 40-50%, and then they just enact their own law, and it's only a matter of time. It creeps in, and it's creeping in, and I hope they gut Iran. I hope they've had 47 years of oppression, and I hope they gut the place. I hope the people rise up and they a few Islamist gizzards, man. And I know it's going to be nasty, but that's what happens. That's what happens when you let an evil take over. The Islamo-Commies. If you don't fight them incrementally along the way and you let them get too much power, then yeah, there will have to be a river of blood to get freedom back. So I'm going to book my holiday to Iran before it's quite safe, and then maybe I'll get to you Islamist gizzards just to protect my towels on the beach. How about that? So I'd like to talk about Humza Yousaf, the Gaza donkey. Right, a lot of people somewhat unfairly accuse these accuse Islamists of animal fuckery. I mean, that's kind of something that you could accuse the Germans of as well, since bestiality is still legal in Germany. But that's another fucking subject. Because in the Quran, it says you have to rape a dead animal and then feed that dead animal to your enemies. But I think in the case, and then people unfairly accuse these mad Islamists of being goat fuckers. They're fucking goats, you know. Bestiality on goats. And I must admit, I've seen a video back in the day, back before they really reined in the internet. Anyway, but I think what we're looking at with this doe-eyed Gaza donkey here is no evidence of goat fucking. I think it's evidence of donkey fucking, because you look at the comparison between Humza Yousaf and your typical Gaza donkey. Yeah, same doe eyes, same texture, same mouth and Same jaw function. A braying Gaza donkey. That's what we got here. So, in light of that, I would just like to interrupt the video to include a special broadcast direct from Palestine. Harways is Hammurabi from Palestine. If you scroll past this, then you are committing a genocide. My children are starving, even though we've got unlimited free food. Because we are actually refugees and we're finally getting meat to live the refugee status that we actually claim. And we don't have any spare money to provide to Hamas to bomb the Jews. It's kind of shit, but we would murder 1,000 Jews for nothing. So if you scroll past this is a genocide and everybody who scrolls past is committing a genocide, please send money. Well, if that doesn't fucking melt your heart, I don't know what will. Yeah. So now I've made that genuine and heartfelt appeal to everybody's consciences, and I've used all the trigger words. Please donate. Please donate to the Jew murdering fund, the tunnel digging fund, the hostage taking fund, the Jewish baby murdering fund, that our Hamza and his wife were allegedly in full knowledge of before it happened through his wife's connections in Gaza, because she's a Gazan. And of course, we can never prove that he knew that October the 7th was gonna happen and did nothing with the information except get a massive boner, because it's the only thing that he can probably get hard for is Jew killing and Jew hate. I must give credit to Craig Houston. Like, a lot of people eye roll when you hear that name because he's a Rangers man, because he's big-footed into issues that he knows nothing about on a few occasions and made an ass of himself. But the last time I cared about politics was on the run-up to October 7th. It was as if he started producing these videos about Hamza Yousaf and the dangers of this, and evil and wrong-headed, and everything that evidenced that, and it was all spelt out. He spelt it out for us, and then the massacre, then the horrible massacre happened on October the 7th. And then the light in his eyes, and then the oppression of speech, and it was just a spiral off of there. And these SNP Gaza donkeys, they doubled down on their anti-Semitism, and it really showed them. It really showed them for what they were. Like, if there was nothing like an absolutely disgusting event to show people for what they are, then that was it. And and I got, but that's when I first ever got politically active, and what they did to Dankula was so awful and sickening. And then what our Craig pointed out was happening with Hamza, undeniably true, evidently true, and disgusting. That when they brought in the speech laws, I started reporting Hamza Yousaf for everything that he said. Everything that he said, we went back in the past, and everybody reported him for his white speech. But then I started reporting him for everything, for his omission of even mentioning the name of the Jews on Holocaust Remembrance Day. Like it was he's just an exercise in how to be anti-Semitic without being anti-Semitic, without getting caught. And it must have worked. It worked for like some people, the wanna believers and the Jew haters, and then everybody else was just disillusioned and no caring and no looking. But I reported my wee head off, and I would report him using the most foul language that I could, yeah, just like the street language that you hear in Scotland. Like, Like, just, yes, like saying he was a gay cunt for hating the Jews and stuff. Like, just to test the edges of the hate laws and see if the Stasi would actually show up. It's like, well, who am I being grossly offensive to? Why am I being grossly offensive? Is the gross offence that I'm sending in the reports justified? And I think it fully was. And I was using comedy and foul language to highlight an absolutely disgusting removal of liberty from a nation called Scotland, whose slogan is freedom, no socialism and Jew hate. What the fuck?